street, the lawyer always nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss a wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the Queen makes it make sense. So true.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, Vince I Am said, bye haters in all wigs. All right, so hello, Nessa G. Noah's in the house. Vince I Am from the UK, Fat Boo, Queen Amoni Huey, Claudette, Sandra is here, Samantha. All right, 504 Nola, I see you. So let's get into it, Cookie. All right, shout out to all my loyal royals. I see you, Pamela. All right, Auntie Leah is in the house. All right, one who cares. My Aunt Egypt is here. Jeff ATL. Bruta is here. Okay, April, Buckhorse DC's nefarious self. Shout out to my moderators for putting in work. Most hated Bronze Flat Power God is here. Okay, so let's get this party started. And so listen, everybody hit that like button. It's the least you can do. Shout out to the elder Baba Rashawn live, okay, in the house. Now, let me just tell you all something because, you know, before I get started, first of all, one's in the chat if my camera looks clear, because for the past couple of days, I looked at my videos and noticed that the camera looks like it's a little blurry or just not really crisp. Does my camera look all right, you guys? One's in the chat if the camera looks okay. Maybe I'm having too much contrast or too much brightness. One's in the chat if the camera looks okay. Okay, so you guys are saying yes. Okay, honey, because the camera was looking real crazy the other day. I saw Danny Robertson use my video, and the picture was looking so blurry. Okay, so anyway. So let's get into it. But before we talk about this nefarious story, okay, let me say this. Yesterday, I did a story about Ronnie Bo, the grifter is what I call him. Now, I don't care who gets mad. When I go in on somebody and call them a grifter, trust and believe that I have the receipts to back up what I'm saying. Now, that all being said, I noticed that a couple of people left me comments talking about Jaguar Wright, saying that, somebody said, Queen, and I will show the comments on the screen, but I forgot to upload them. They're in my phone. But anyway, hold on. Let me just go to my phone, as a matter of fact, because I got time today. Hold on. Somebody left me a comment. They said, greetings, Queen. I definitely agree with your thoughts on Ronnie Bo. His intentions definitely seem genuine, or definitely doesn't seem genuine. However, I agree to disagree with your views on Jaguar. She may animate her stories a bit, but I believe them. Well, you know, if you believe them, that's on you. I didn't say anything about Jaguar. So I'm just wondering why about 2 or 3 people left me comments about Jaguar. I didn't mention her. The only thing I said about Jaguar is what you guys wrote in the chat, and I read your comments on the screen. The video was about Ronnie Bo. And then, with that all being said, now there's either one of 2 reasons people left me comments about Jaguar. Either because something that I said led them to think that I was talking about Jaguar? And if that's the case, that means that you must think that Jaguar does those things, because I was talking about Ronnie Bo. Or the other reason would be is that you want to deflect from Ronnie Bo because you don't want to say anything about what I was alleging about him because you disagree with it, but you can't really disagree with it because you know I had the receipts. And it makes no sense. So there's that. Okay, I didn't say anything. Auntie Leah said Queen didn't say nothing about Jack. Thank you. I sure didn't. Okay, so please sit down somewhere. All right. At the end of the day, maybe you're projecting what you think about Jack onto the Queen, because I was talking about Ronnie Bo. Okay. Now, if you want me to do a video about Jack, I can do a whole nother video. But my point is, I was talking about Ronnie Bo yesterday, so please let's not gaslight and deflect. Okay, don't try it. Don't try it is all I'm saying. Giggle said I was confused about the reason for the Jag right comments too. Okay, exactly, because I didn't say anything about her. All right, now that all being said, now that we got that squared away, okay, let's get into it. And then also, let me just tell y'all something else. Y'all are so petty because somebody sent me a video about the guy from Ratchet TV. And I was shocked and appalled. But again, the video wasn't about him either. It was about Ronnie Bo. But somebody sent me videos of him being arrested with the police body cam footage, nefarious allegations that's similar to Diddy and Cassie's video, and amongst other things. Listen. Somebody did a video about that 4 months ago exposing him, I suppose, and they sent me that. Y'all are just so messy. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Y'all are just messy, honey. But let me continue. So now let's talk about it, because before we get into Skip Bayless and the nefariousness of it all, here's some information on Diddy. This is the latest update on Diddy, honey. Diddy wanted people to fear him, to respect him, according to that new documentary that I believe is supposed to come out January the 14th, and I will be waiting with a bag full of popcorn. Please pay attention. So a new documentary will take a deep dive into the rise and fall of Sean Diddy Combs and claims the rapper wanted to make people fear him. Peacock is preparing to launch a 90-minute film about the founder of the Bad Boy Records called Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. The documentary, scheduled for January the 14th, will feature interviews with lawyers, music producers, and friends of Diddy who has been hit with upwards of 100 brand new assault allegations since his arrest in September, and has been charged with trafficking by forced transportation to engage in prostitution and racketeering conspiracy, all of which he's pleaded not guilty. Now, in a preview of the documentary, an unidentified man discusses interactions with Diddy, or Diddy's interactions with others. The rapper's legal team has dismissed the documentary as baseless and clearly a conspiracy theory. Now, this person says he thought that if people feared him, they would respect him. An anonymous woman also alleged that they said they could ship me off and sell me to anyone. And then attorney Lisa Bloom, representing some of Sean Diddy Combs' accusers, labeled him as a monster. Diddy was arrested, of course, we know, September the 16th. Okay, Combs has strongly refuted the allegations. So I think I already told you all that, but that popped up as an update. So, but I'm pretty sure I told you all that days ago. So now let's talk about Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, what are you doing, honey? This is all nefarious, okay? I want you all to pay attention, because this woman has sued him, and she had to bring Shannon Sharpe into it. Now, to me, she was just being messy by bringing poor little old Shannon into it. Skip Bayless accused of offering Fox Sports employee $1.5 million for SEX in a bombshell lawsuit. Okay, Skip Bayless, a longtime sports commentator and the former co-host of Fox Sports' #1 Undisputed, was sued by a former hairstylist with the network and accused of offering her $1.5 million for SEX and inappropriately touching her. Nashawn Fariji alleged that 73-year-old Bayless, whose hair she cut after getting assigned to the Undisputed show, gave lingering hugs. Okay, this is what she said after each haircut, putting his body against hers and pressing against her breast. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, ladies, if you are doing somebody's hair or whatever you're doing, and some man you're not in a relationship with gives you a hug frontwards and press his body against yours, now either you like it because you allow him to do it, specifically if you let him do it more than once. Okay, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you must like it, because why would you do that? Okay, please make it all make sense. That's just my opinion. Now, goes on to say, he then began to kiss her on the cheek. Miss Faraji was uncomfortable by the physical contact and would make the excuses to leave after haircuts. Why do you need to make excuses when somebody's doing these things to you and you don't like it and it's not welcome? You can't just say, get your hands off me. Don't touch me. Excuse me, sir. What do you think you're doing? You can't say any of those things. You just have to sit there and be complicit and let them touch you, okay, and just hug all up on you frontwards. It's all crazy. The way it said, that's a lie. What man offers a $1.5 million for a used box? Not used box. Exactly what I was thinking, beloved. Okay, come on. I mean, she's not on that, is she? I mean, I heard stories about Erykah Badu and what men say about her. Now, if nobody's offered Erykah Badu that much money, I'm sorry, I'm not believing it. Okay. Queen Trish said, I don't believe her, Queen. It just doesn't sound right. Skip is letting his lawyer handle it. As he should. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, but I've heard about Erykah Badu. What they said about her, allegedly. And if nobody's offered her that kind of cash, quite frankly, my tea's a little too hot. Then, quite frankly, I don't believe that anyone offered this lady that. Oh, what did he say? 2024 has been extended. Oh, Erykah Badu is a hoe, says Jeff Etienne. No, she isn't. Erykah Badu is no hoe. I've never heard such. I just heard that from the relationships that she's been in with people like Andre 3000 and Common, the rapper, that she had them under some sort of spell with her, the JJ. That's all I'm saying. And let's not forget how Charlemagne the Devil sniffed the seat when she was on the Breakfast Club and said that it smelled like pineapples. That's all I'm saying. So they're not offering her that kind of cash, lady. I don't believe you. Okay, but let's get into the salaciousness of it all, because I have the lawsuit documents, which I plan to share on the screen. Cookie said, yes, she is, Queen. She is? Okay, well, maybe she had Queen fooled. I've never heard such nefariousness about Erykah Badu. I think y'all just lying on her. I think y'all lying on Erykah. I'm not going for it, people. First of all, what's y'all's definition of a hoe? That's what I need to know. I have several questions. Now, let me put... Y'all are messy. Let me put my overlay on here. It is too early in the morning, and the Queen hasn't even had her tea. And y'all out here spilling tea? Okay, so now listen to this. Okay, so Nashan Faraji individually and on behalf of others similarly situated. Now she's suing Fox Corporation, Fox Sports Holdings LLC, Delaware Limited Liability Company, Fox Sports 1 LLC, Fox Sports 2 LLC, Fox Sports Productions LLC, Charlie Dixon, and Skip Bayless, and Joy Taylor. So she's suing Joy too? Dang, honey. Okay, so anyway, let's just skip to the good part. Ms. Faraji brings forth this action because for over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure a misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Ms. Faraji and others came forward to report the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against them, while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicitly promoted. This case thus represents yet another in a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. Ms. Faraji also brings forth an action on behalf of herself and Fox's current and former non-exempt hourly employees employed in California, class members, beginning 4 years prior to the filing of this complaint and ending on the date as determined by the court, the class period, basically. Specifically, during the class period, Fox had a consistent policy and or practice of failing to pay employees all minimum wages, failing to pay employees all overtime wages, failing to reimburse employees for business expenses, failing to pay all wages upon separation, knowingly and intentionally failing to furnish accurate itemized wage statements. As a result of the above labor code violations, Fox committed unfair, unlawful, and fraudulent business practices in violation of California's unfair competition law. Now, in addition, each cause of action arises from California state law, and a substantial number of events giving rise to this lawsuit took place in Los Angeles, California. We're going to skip down. Faraji was a resident of California for all times relevant during the events of this case. She was employed at Fox as a hairstylist on a part-time basis for from approximately 2012 to 2016, and on a full-time basis from approximately 2016 to August of 2024. Defendant Charlie Dixon is the executive vice president of content for FS1, which I guess is Fox Sports 1, Fox's flagship multi-sport national network, overseeing all content and production on the network. Mr. Dixon was in July 2016, the very first significant hiring of former Fox Sports president Jamie Horowitz. Mr. Horowitz, who was terminated from Fox due to reports of sexual harassment. Okay, at all relevant times, Mr. Dixon was an agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Faraji's employment. Upon information and belief, Mr. Dixon is a resident of the state of California. Defendant Skip Bayless is a sports columnist, commentator, and television personality who worked at Fox on his show Skip and Shannon Undisputed from 2016 to August of 2024. In March 2021, Mr. Bayless signed a 4-year, $32 million contract with Fox. At all relevant times, Mr. Bayless was an agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Faraji's employment. Upon information and belief, Mr. Bayless is a resident of the state of California. Defendant Joy Taylor is a media personality and television host for Fox. She co-hosts the show Speak on Fox Sports 1. At all relevant times, Ms. Taylor was an agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Faraji's employment. Upon information and belief, Ms. Taylor is a resident of the state of California. While not currently named as defendants herein, Mark Silverman, president and COO of Fox Sports, and Eric Shanks, CEO and executive producer of Fox Sports, may become named defendants based upon discovery yet to be adduced in this action concerning their involvement with respect to Ms. Faraji's claims. Okay, on information and belief, Mr. Silverman and Mr. Shanks approved, were made privy to, or should have been privy to all significant employment decisions and personnel-related investigations related to misconduct and or harassment of Fox Sports executives and talent. Further, on information and belief, Mr. Silverman and Mr. Shanks, along with Fox's legal team, worked hard to protect perpetrators by forcing individuals who were witnesses to or targets of misconduct and or harassment to sign non-disclosure agreements upon separation from employment. Ms. Faraji is ignorant of the true names, capacities, relationships, and extent of participation in the conduct herein alleged of the defendants sued herein, those 1 through 25, but is informed and believes and thereon alleges that said defendants are legally responsible for the wrongdoing conducted or conduct alleged herein, and therefore sues these defendants by such fictitious names. Ms. Faraji will amend this complaint to allege the true names and capacities of the defendants when ascertained. In 2003, Ms. Faraji began to work with Jose Eber Hair Salon, a sophisticated salon providing cutting-edge styling and coloring techniques and treatments to high-profile clients. Now, around 2010, Ms. Faraji was introduced by a co-worker to the salon, or at the salon, to Gail Berman, the former president of entertainment for Fox Broadcasting Company, and Dana Walden, the former CEO of Fox Television Group. Shortly thereafter, Ms. Faraji began accompanying the co-worker to do Ms. Walden and Ms. Berman's hair at their homes and on the premises of Fox. Over time, as Ms. Faraji's co-worker became busy with other clients, he sent Ms. Faraji on her own to do their hair at their homes and on the premises of Fox. In approximately 2012, a makeup stylist who would do Ms. Walden and or Ms. Berman's makeup when Ms. Faraji worked on their hair recommended Ms. Faraji for a position at Fox. Fox then hired Ms. Faraji as a part-time employee. When hired, Ms. Faraji was asked to bring her own tools for her work. She would later discover that all her co-workers received a kit fee for bringing their own tools. However, she herself would not receive a kit fee until 2019, approximately 7 years after she started working at Fox. In addition, while Ms. Faraji was a hairstylist, her supervisor, Jenny Peretti, also required that she do the job duties of a barber. cutting hair. Now, when Miss Faraji complained to her union, they told her that while cutting hair was not in her contract, Miss Peretti was known to be difficult and it was best to just comply with her request. Accordingly, throughout her tenure, Miss Faraji both styled and cut hair. In approximately March of 2016, Miss Faraji met Miss Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Miss Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick or otherwise missed time. Miss Taylor told Miss Faraji that she was recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in Los Angeles. Miss Taylor then befriended Miss Faraji. In approximately May of 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sport Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. Now, was the lady setting her up? Now, as Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on Fox Sports 1. Miss Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Miss Faraji asked who he was. Miss Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Following that night, whenever Miss Faraji would meet with Miss Taylor for drinks or food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Miss Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks and or food. From their body language, Miss Faraji suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other. And although this concerned Miss Faraji, as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married, Miss Faraji kept her opinions to herself. Well, clearly you're not keeping your opinions to yourself now, Miss Lady, because at the end of the day, if you're suing for what was done to you, why are you bringing up this lady's business and spilling all the hot tea on this woman, knowing that she's a whole married person? This is all just being messy, you guys. Please pay attention. This lady is just exposing everybody. Like, if I go down, everybody's going down. Is that what she's thinking? Well, that's what it seems like. But let's continue. In approximately June of 2016, while at work, Miss Faraji noticed Mr. Dixon in the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss Faraji found Miss Taylor and told her excitedly, the guy who always buys our drinks was in the elevator. Now, let me stop right here. I don't believe this. This is ringing of lies, okay? Where she says, now I could be wrong, but when she says that she told her the guy who always buys our drinks was in the elevator, now why would that make sense? How does that make sense? If you've met this man on several occasions and he's paid for your drinks, you don't know his name by now? Did he not ever have a conversation, okay, with Miss Taylor? And you never heard Miss Taylor address him by name? She didn't introduce him to you by his name. Now, she says that the woman told her he was just a friend, but at the end of the day, she never addressed him by name. Why would she say the guy? Like it's somebody she doesn't know or that she just barely met or probably saw only once. The guy who always buys our drinks was in the elevator. Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss Faraji, explaining who he was. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. Miss Faraji continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong, as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were both married. Lady, what does this have to do with the price of tea in China? Like I'm telling y'all right now, she's being messy. Okay? Unless they asked her to engage in some type of SEX act with them. I don't know why she's bringing this up. But again, I haven't read this document. I'm just now reading it for the first time. So let's see where this is going. In approximately July of 2016, word spread amongst Fox employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal, as it would star Mr. Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. It was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Miss Taylor, who was a bartender and radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Well, you know, the thing of it is, when you look a certain way, you don't necessarily have to have any qualifications in some instances. I mean, y'all know this is all true. Y'all know this is all true. Now, y'all can look at this young lady. Very beautiful she is. She looks like a spicy Latina. But so you could see that she will likely be someone that somebody would hire just because she looks good. I'm not saying that they should do that, but this is absolutely what some people do. But let's continue. Mr. Bayless later disclosed that Miss Faraji, that he did not want Miss Taylor on the show, but Mr. Dixon was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. This is all nefarious. Okay, this is all nefarious. Now, with that all being said, goes on to say that hold on, I lost my place. Okay. Mr. Bayless and Miss Taylor were she arrived in provocative clothing. Okay, that's clearly a typo. It says where she arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change, Mr. Bayless's opinion of Miss Taylor, Miss Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend. Around August of 2016, Miss Faraji attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband, and Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having an extra relationship. Soon after the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. Lady, how do you know all this? She's all in their business. Now, in approximately September of 2016, Undisputed started. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. In approximately November of 2016, after not allowing anyone to touch his hair, Mr. Bayless also requested Miss Faraji to do his hair. Okay, this is all getting crazy. Now, Skip, she said Skip didn't let anyone touch his hair, but all of a sudden he wants this lady to do his hair. Star Child says Miss Taylor is half black and half white. Okay, well, she looks exotic. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that tidbit of information. Now, Mr. Dixon gropes Miss Faraji after putting her on Undisputed. This is the next section. So on January the 14th of 2017, Miss Taylor had her birthday party at Pearl's Rooftop in West Hollywood. Miss Faraji and other Fox employees who were invited attended, as it was part of their job duties to appease talent, and a birthday party is an important event. As usual, Mr. Dixon was heavily drinking, buying drinks for everyone on Fox's credit card. Look at her snitching. How did she know he paid for it on the Fox credit card? And blustering that everything purchased was on Fox's dime. Oh, well, I guess that's how. So as Miss Faraji was standing near the bar, facing the crowd, Mr. Dixon approached her. He asked the bartender for a drink and then placed his arm around Miss Faraji's lower back. He asked how she was doing, if she was having fun, and if she wanted a tequila shot. Miss Faraji felt very uncomfortable, but by his unsolicited touching and responded, "No, thank you." Mr. Dixon then moved his hand lower and started rubbing her body and grabbing her buttocks. Oh, this is all nefarious. Now, as I'm reading this, I want you guys to close your eyes, if you could, and just picture it. Okay, you're at a bar with some guy you work with that you're not in a relationship with, and he puts his hand on your lower waist and then, goes on to caress your butt cheeks, and you're not going to say anything? But let me continue, because it couldn't be the queen, honey, because somebody would have got slapped real quick. But let me continue. So anyway, Miss Faraji was mortified, but quickly thought to fake an incoming call to escape the situation. Why not just say, "Get your damn hands off me, you brutes"? So Miss Faraji did not know who to turn to, but how about maybe the police if you feel violated? Okay, so anyway, she didn't know who to turn to, but as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor responded to "get over it" and explained that she herself only had her job because of Mr. Dixon, and that Miss Faraji only had her job because Miss Taylor requested her. She warned that Mr. Dixon could take both away. Miss Faraji was terrified and then turned to her coworker, Anonymous, to discuss the situation. Anonymous responded that Mr. Dixon was disgusting, that the entire situation was sick, but that it wasn't shocking given Fox's culture, and that Miss Faraji should remain quiet if she wanted to keep her job. As a single mother who needed the job to support her son, Miss Faraji had no choice but to remain silent. Girl, you had a choice. We always have choices in life. Every day you wake up with two things, honey: a chance and a choice. Please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. Now, she chose not to say anything because she wanted her job, but she clearly had a choice. 7 years later, in 2023, Miss Peretti told Miss Faraji that she did not like her or anything about Undisputed. Miss Peretti expanded that she had already scheduled someone for hair on Undisputed when Mr. Dixon called her and told her that she must put Miss Faraji on Undisputed full. Okay, now in order to protect their identity and prevent retaliation, we refer to several different individuals anonymously in this complaint, defining the individuals as anonymous in each case. So they're just not saying everyone's name. Clearly, these people probably didn't have anything to do with this, but were there when some of these things happened. Okay, so Miss Peretti told Miss Faraji, I didn't like that. That's not how things should be done. Miss Faraji was stunned and devastated as she prides herself on her work and earning her accolades. Later that day, while thinking about her career, she was angry that Miss Peretti succumbed to Mr. Dixon's request, as it gave Mr. Dixon the feeling that he could grope her for giving her a job. Now, Mr. Dixon gets rid of a female talent member for refusing to have relations with him. Several years into Miss Faraji's tenure at Fox, a female talent member, Anonymous, hired Miss Faraji to do her hair at her house for an award show. Anonymous asked that Miss Faraji meet her for lunch first, and then Anonymous told Miss Faraji that she would no longer be with Fox, as Mr. Dixon told her that she would need to have relations with him if she wanted to renew her contract, but she had refused. Anonymous further conveyed that Mr. Dixon was doing this to another woman talent, to other women talent. She should warn Miss Taylor to be careful. And a talk show host had recently reported Mr. Dixon. Now, following lunch, Miss Faraji called Miss Taylor to convey that what Anonymous had stated. Miss Taylor responded that no one gives a F about Anonymous or the talk show host who had reported Mr. Dixon. Miss Faraji later observed that Miss Taylor's remark appeared accurate, as no actions were taken to address the concerns raised. If it was not already apparent, it became even more clear that Fox enabled high-ranking individuals to abuse their authority, exerting undue control over female talent and employees. Fear permeated the workplace as stories of mistreatment circulated. As one example, Mr. Dixon deliberately assigned a female talent member who had been harassed and reported it to a show set up to fail. Now, when the show inevitably failed due to his sabotage, he used its failure as justification to terminate her employment. In another instance, a co-worker who frequently cried in the hallway due to relentless sexual harassment was fired just 1 week after reporting it. These repeated incidents reinforce an atmosphere where speaking up seems futile and dangerous. Mr. Bayless begins to give Miss Faraji lingering hugs and kisses on the cheeks while putting his body against hers and pressing her breast. After the reporting by the talk show host fell on deaf ears, Mr. Bayless began requesting that Miss Faraji give him a haircut once a week in the makeup room. Miss Faraji did as she was told, as Miss Peretti required Miss Faraji to give haircuts to talent. Initially, during the haircuts, Mr. Bayless would discuss his life, his work at Fox, and other innocuous matters. However, soon after the weekly haircut started, Mr. Bayless began finding excuses to touch Miss Faraji. He would give her lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body up against hers, pressing against her breast. He then began to kiss her on the cheeks. Which cheeks did he kiss her on? I have questions. Now, Miss Faraji was uncomfortable by the physical contact and would make excuses to leave right after the haircuts, saying, I need to pick up my son from school. In approximately summer of 2017, while Miss Faraji was giving Mr. Bayless a haircut, he told her that she was voluptuous. No, he did not. As English is her second language and she was not familiar with the word, Miss Faraji asked what that meant. Mr. Bayless seemed amused and told her to figure it out. Miss Faraji later asked a coworker what the word meant and was mortified. Say what? Not that she was mortified, honey. What do y'all have to say about it all? What do y'all have to say about this? Original Copper American Sun Energy says, just a nasty freak on the job. Okay. Perplex says she needed that job. All right. She had to, honey, because it's all nefarious. So anyway, she was mortified. Mr. Bayless then started being more aggressive and direct in his advances. Ms. Faraji continuously declined, stating that she did not date at work as she is a single mom and needed her job. This is really sad for this poor woman that she felt the need to go through this. Because, honey, I would have been going all off, up and through Fox's offices, okay? Please pay attention. Ms. Faraji was terrified and then turned to her co-worker to discuss the situation. The two decided that because Mr. Bayless was a powerful man and Fox protected powerful men, Mr. Dixon's actions were openly known but ignored. It would only be to her detriment to report the issue. The two decided that Ms. Faraji needed to be kind towards Mr. Bayless or risk her job. As a single mother who relied on her job to support her son, Ms. Faraji felt that she had no choice. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something, ladies. Let me tell you something, ladies, because I have told you all before that I have been harassed at a job and I sued them. First, I reported it to upper management, to the VP and the president. Okay, they didn't fire the person. What they did was retaliated against me by putting me on a different shift. Okay, so I went and filed a complaint with the EEOC, and then they sent me a letter giving me the right to sue, and I sued them. See, what you do, but I was gathering receipts on these people too, just to let you know. I was gathering receipts because I know that people will lie and stick together, and these were people who did not look like me. So with that all being said, and not that that matters, because even people who look like you'll do shady stuff like this as well. But I just said that to say that usually the people who don't look like me are the ones more inclined to stick together, because we already know that most Black people just don't stick together. That's what we don't do, sadly. But so anyway, with that all being said, ladies, if you're being harassed at your job, if you have something going on that you feel uncomfortable about and you've reported it to upper management and they've not done anything or whatever, they're now placing you in a quid pro quo. Excuse me. They're now placing you in a quid pro quo hostile environment. That's what they're doing, because people are going to retaliate against you. People are going to be whispering and talking trash about you and just saying things. What you need to do is record this. See what Miss Faraji should have done is she should have secretly set up a camera at her workstation that would capture him on film, giving her these nefarious hugs. Okay, these full frontal hugs that he was given. Okay. At the end of the day, that's what she should have done, honey. Gathered evidence and receipts. Because that's exactly what I did. But let's continue. But nobody was putting hands on me. They were just saying things. Honey, they put their hands on me, honey. There's no telling what I would have done, honey. Because I'm telling you, it would have been some smoke in the city. Now, goes on to say that they protected these powerful men, and Dixon's actions were openly known but ignored. It would only be to her detriment to report the issue. The two decided that Ms. Faraji needed to be kind towards Mr. Bayless or risk her job. As a single mother who relied on her job to support her son, Ms. Faraji felt she had no choice. Ms. Faraji has her hours cut after being on medical leave. So in approximately November of 2017, Ms. Faraji hurt her back at work, couldn't move for nearly 40 days, and received workers' compensation. In approximately December of 2017, this is a month later, when Ms. Faraji returned from her leave, she was not provided her full-time schedule and learned from a co-worker that Ms. Peretti had promised her shifts to someone else. Ms. Faraji called her union for help. Her union informed her that Ms. Peretti's actions would be illegal under the law. Ms. Faraji then called Human Resources, who confirmed that she was entitled to her pre-leave schedule. Now, on January the 5th of 2018, Ms. Peretti called Ms. Faraji into her office. When Ms. Faraji arrived, an individual from Human Resources was present, and Ms. Peretti was falsely explaining that Ms. Faraji did not want her full-time schedule. Ms. Faraji grew upset, explained that she did want her full-time schedule, and further explained that Ms. Peretti had been treating her poorly for years. Ms. Faraji then had multiple meetings with Human Resources where she explained that Ms. Peretti yelled at her, made fun of her, and bullied her. Ms. Peretti told Ms. Faraji that she did not like her and could fire her at any time. From Ms. Faraji's perspective, there was no resolution after these conversations, as she was never informed of any sort of conclusion or action taken on Fox's part. Ms. Faraji remains undisputed and is asked to also join the herd. Now, in approximately summer of 2018, Miss Taylor was moved from undisputed to the herd with Colin Cowherd. Miss Taylor again requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. Colin Cowherd also requested Miss Faraji to do his hair. Thus, every day Miss Faraji would do Mr. Bayless's hair for undisputed, and then would do Miss Taylor and Mr. Cowherd's hair for the herd. Now, throughout her entire tenure at Fox, Mr. Cowherd was professional and respectful to Miss Faraji and her co-workers. Around this time, after learning of Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon's sexual relationship, Miss Taylor's fiance then broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all that he knew. On information and belief, Miss Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in an informal exchange for her fiance's silence. I wonder if Miss Faraji snitched on this woman. I wonder if she snitched on her, because first of all, she's talking about it was immoral and wrong and all of this. And it seemed like she was so worried about what this lady was doing, which was clearly none of her business. If that lady wanted to risk her job or do whatever, risk her marriage, that was her prerogative. I'm wondering if she's the one that snitched to the husband, because how did he find out? Okay, so on Mr. Diaz racially and sexually harasses Miss Faraji. On May the 10th of 2019, Bobby Diaz, the individual who puts the microphones on talent, mocked Miss Faraji for her pronunciation of English words and sexualized the way she was eating fruit. Miss Faraji did not respond. She just kept her eyes glued on the monitor playing Undisputed. Miss Peretti was present and did not do anything. On information and belief, Mr. Diaz openly gropes, harasses, and is inappropriate with women at Fox. On information and belief, Mr. Diaz has not been fired, reportedly due to his role in supplying Coca-Cola, nose candy, to numerous Fox employees and talent. Even after an incident where he removed his pants on live camera, honey. Are y'all listening to this? Not removed his pants and then handing out Coca-Cola at work? This is all sounding like freak offs, but let me continue. On information and belief, in December of 2024, after Ms. Faraji sent notice of this impending lawsuit to Fox, Mr. Diaz made a mockery of his discussions with human resources regarding his interactions with Ms. Faraji. He told various employees that Ms. Faraji was stupid. Oh, honey, no, he didn't. Defiantly stated that despite being told not to speak about his discussions with human resources, he didn't care, saying, "Who gives a ish?" He further boasted that he would never be fired. Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on the show. In approximately February of 2020, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Ocho. Acho. Miss Faraji did not know Mr. Acho, but could tell that the two were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at the lunch, Miss Faraji noticed him in the hallway while at work. Miss Faraji later asked Miss Taylor if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. Lady, you need to mind your business. That's what it seems like you weren't doing. It seems like you weren't minding your business, Miss Faraji. Okay, why are you worried about who this lady sleeps with? Honey, if that lady want to sleep with the whole entire office, honey, why are you concerned? I have several questions, okay? Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. This is all nefarious. In approximately September of 2022, Miss Taylor started to work on Speak. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. Now, Miss Faraji is targeted because of her ethnicity. So, in approximately 2020, Jane Doe, Miss M, an employee at Fox, began demonstrating erratic behavior One night at an informal dinner at Maestro's steakhouse, she grew irrationally enraged with Miss Faraji and screamed, "F you, you Persian bitch." The dinner ended after Miss M broke a glass and threatened to harm herself. This is all crazy. Are y'all listening to this? Hold on. Now, following the dinner, Miss Faraji's co-worker, Anonymous, who is Black, reported the incident to Human Resources, explaining that she would not be okay with someone calling her a black biatch. Anonymous also had Miss Faraji report the incident to Miss Poretti. Now, despite these reports supposedly being anonymous, Miss M learned of the reports and became increasingly unstable towards Miss Faraji. Every single morning, Miss M would scream and throw things at Miss Faraji. Approximately 6 months later, Ms. Faraji told Human Resources that she believed that her life was in danger. Honey, why didn't you quit at this point? I mean, if you think your whole life is literally in danger, why are you still working here again? This is all crazy, honey, but let me continue. Now, Human Resources responded that Ms. Faraji should just leave the workplace. That's what I'm saying. Why not just quit? When Miss M was having an episode, or basically not telling her to quit, but telling her to just leave, go home, or whatever. I would have just quit. Now, after approximately a year and a half, Miss M was fired. Miss M's ex-boyfriend, a producer at Fox, shared that Human Resources gave Miss M a large amount of money in severance. Miss Faraji wondered why Fox rewarded her bully with money. Human Resources eventually apologized to Ms. Faraji, explaining they did not have experience with mental health issues. Human Resources offered Ms. Faraji free therapy. Ms. Faraji declined the free therapy, but began to see an independent therapist once a week to discuss her life at Fox. Ms. Faraji continues to see the same therapist today. Okay. Ms. Faraji believes she has cancer and conveys this to Mr. Bayless in an attempt to stop his advances, only to have him offer her $1.5 million to have sex. This is all so sad. This is all sad. Now, if this is true, if this is in fact true, this is all so egregious. Now, Antonio says, it's all she said, and I thought, where's the witnesses? Okay. Star Child says the money, she would quit if she was somewhere flipping burgers. Well, I guess that's true, but honey, I wouldn't give a damn where I was, because what you wouldn't do is be harassing me on a regular basis and making me feel uncomfortable, and then to boot saying racist things. You see, I don't care how much money you're paying me. That's what you're not going to do. That's what you're not going to do. She could have found a job somewhere else, I'm sure, making a lot of money. Specifically after having that one, she should have been looking for a job before she quit. I would have been putting in applications and resumes and going on interviews when I had time, basically trying to set myself up somewhere else before I just went on and quit, honey. At the end of the day, that's what I would have been doing, honey. I'm not gonna stay at no job. You sitting there putting your hands on me, and I don't want you to. And then people talking to me crazy, give me a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to treat me fair, and then bringing up racial things. No, honey, that's not gonna happen ever. Not to the queen. But anyway, let me continue. So, over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances on Miss Faraji, lingering hugs, kisses on the cheeks, and inappropriate comments that he could change her life if she acquiesced to having sex. Miss Faraji would always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, or make a joke, anything to keep Mr. Bayless appeased and her job safe. Ain't that much appeasing in the world. In July of 2021, Ms. Faraji developed issues with her left ovary and was advised that it could be cancer. With a fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. Ms. Faraji panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere, that she has a child, and that she does not want him. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. Ms. Faraji made an excuse to leave. It's all crazy. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance to Miss Faraji. Miss Faraji responded, "Skip, stop. You have a wife. Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives?" This man is relentless if this is all true, and I believe that it is. I believe this is all true. Okay, I believe this is all true. Okay, Skip Bayless, you should be ashamed of yourself, honey. That's what you should be. You should be ashamed of yourself. She can't make this up. She cannot make this up. He said, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives?" You're not, y'all know. Now, all of you guys know that sounds like it came right from the lips of Skip Bayless. Let's not forget how he went in on Shannon Sharpe that time, okay? And then had the audacity to go in on Shannon and basically shushed him. And it's like he wanted to call him a boy. That's what was about to fall off of his lips. Honey, Skip said, "How could you not want all this? Honey, I'm 73. Look at me." He's like, "How could you not want all of this, lady? And plus, I'm offering you the cash." Okay? This is what he was likely thinking. It's a low down, nefarious self. Honey. This is all crazy. Oh, honey, this is all so sad. It couldn't be me, though, honey, because he would have got slapped a couple of times. But anyway, I digress. And so anyway, Miss Faraji responded that her father was dead. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. Miss Faraji's job is threatened because she does not sleep with Mr. Bayless. On April the 12th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Miss Faraji, "I'm good today." The text meant that he would not be coming in for hair or makeup. On April the 13th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Miss Faraji saying, "Not comfortable coming down there. Just do what you need to do. It's okay." Miss Faraji asked him what was wrong. He replied, "Same stuff, worse." Miss Faraji, concerned about her own job, walked to Mr. Bayless's fitting room to see if everything was okay. Now, here's the thing. Now, I want you all to pay attention because this doesn't make any sense. So this man's been harassing you, lady, offering you money for sex, and just saying all kinds of crazy things out of the pocket, inappropriate, whatever, and you're going to check on him. It would seem to me that you would be glad that he didn't want to come. It would seem to me that you would be glad that he was far away from you for the day. But you're going to check on him. Why are you concerned about him? Okay, I have several questions, but let me continue. This ain't my story to tell. Now, Miss Faraji, concerned about her job, walked to Mr. Bayless's fitting room to see if everything was okay. Mr. Bayless answered the door, and before Miss Faraji could speak, he began to angrily accuse Miss Faraji of effing Mr. Sharpe. What? Not Shannon. Miss Faraji tried to explain that she did not have any feelings toward Mr. Sharpe and had never slept with him or any other talent member or employee at Fox. But before she could speak, Mr. Bayless demanded that she come to his car after the show. Miss Faraji responded that she could not come and sit in his car as it is inappropriate. Mr. Bayless grew irate and then left. Honey, Skip was probably thinking, "You bite you? I done offered you all this. And this is what you're going to do to me?" Are y'all hearing this? Bayless was like, "I offered you all this. You could have had all this plus $1.5 million. But instead, you chose this? This is what you want, bitch? Now I'm mad." I mean, that's what it all sounds like to me. This is all nefarious again. But let's continue. And so anyway, on April the 14th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texts Miss Faraji, "If you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday, but I can't keep doing this." Miss Faraji told him that she was very confused. Mr. Bayless responded, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." Miss Faraji then explained over text that she is not sleeping with Mr. Sharpe. Mr. Bayless didn't respond. Here's my thing. Lady, if this man was harassing, see, I want y'all to pay attention because I'm about to make this all make sense. I'm about to make this all make sense because here's the thing. If this lady was upset or felt uncomfortable about this man touching her and saying inappropriate things and wanted it all to stop, she should have been glad that he thought she was messing with Shannon Sharpe because that would deter him from messing with her. because he clearly was irate or mad about it, according to her own words. So she should have been relieved that now at least he won't. Well, he thinks I'm sleeping with Shannon, even though I'm not. I'm glad at least he won't be in here trying to press up on me. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Why would she be going out of her way to convince this man that she was not doing anything with Shannon? Andrea says not feeling well, but had to make this comment. She didn't want his dried up worm. Oh, she probably didn't, beloved. Not dried up worm. She probably didn't. But why was she sitting here trying to explain all of this to this man, honey? I would not. So anyway, on April the 15th of 2022, Mr. Bayless texts Miss Faraji, do you still want to do the haircut or just move on? Miss Faraji responded that she doesn't want to move on from her job and that she will continue doing his hair. On April the 16th of 2022, Mr. Bayless called Miss Faraji, and Miss Faraji did not answer the phone call because she was scared. She then called him back 10 minutes later. On the call, Mr. Bayless again angrily accused Miss Faraji of effing Shannon Sharpe and said that he could tell from her body language that she was effing him. Oh, honey, let me take another sip of tea. Now, Miss Faraji tried to explain that she was kind to all talent, and that included laughing and engaging in conversation. Miss Faraji then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayless answered that she shouldn't talk to him like that. Miss Faraji replied that she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharpe about her vajayjay. Miss Faraji knew this to be untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Miss Faraji responded that even if she had been dating Shannon Sharpe, which she wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. On April the 17th of 2022, Miss Faraji arrived in the makeup room approximately 12 feet by 30 feet, containing 3 makeup and hair sections, turning on a recording device. Okay, lady, about time. About time, honey. You should have done this in the first place. I would have had a whole camera in there. So she turned on a recording device, put it on the table, and waited for Mr. Bayless to arrive. In the meantime, 2 of Miss Faraji's co-workers who were privy to Mr. Bayless's actions went into other talent members' rooms adjacent to the makeup room to listen into the conversation. Mr. Bayless then arrived in the makeup room for Miss Faraji to cut his hair in accordance with his regular schedule. Mr. Bayless knew that the makeup room was always recorded and clearly states, this room is bugged. Oh my goodness. During their conversation, Mr. Bayless stated that he would hate for her to lose her job, but she can't be doing a big thing with my arch rival. She responded by reiterating that being polite to Mr. Sharpe is part of the job. Mr. Bayless responded, bullshish. 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 I am calling bullshish on you. He was really pressed, wasn't he? Mr. Bayless then warned that he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. Miss Faraji responded that she wasn't going to lose her job because she is a great hairdresser. Mr. Bayless responded, I have love for you, and I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, and you are ruining this. Miss Faraji again responded that she must be polite to all talent. Mr. Bayless then implied that if he stopped requesting her, it would affect her job. Miss Faraji responded that she is scheduled to work every morning at 5:45 a.m., and if he would like to get his hair done, he's welcome to sit in her chair. Mr. Bayless continued to threaten her job. Miss Faraji knew that he was trying to pressure her into having sex with him, but she kept repeating that she was a professional that had to be kind to all talent. On April the 21st of 2022, Mr. Bayless asked if Miss Faraji would come to his home to color his hair, a side job that Miss Faraji previously would partake in when Mr. Bayless's wife was home. On this occasion, with her therapist's help, she conveyed that she was no longer going to be at his she would no longer be going to his home. The following week, Mr. Bayless arrived in the makeup room as if their conversations never happened, but Miss Faraji remained on edge. Miss Faraji had worsening nightmares regarding the incidents that took place with Mr. Bayless. Miss Faraji's therapist started using eye movement desensitization and reprocessing to talk through her interactions with Mr. Bayless. Y'all see where this is all going with the therapist talk, because she's likely suing for mental distress and mental anguish and all of that. Now, Miss Faraji is targeted because of her ethnicity and disability. In October of 2021, Miss Faraji's friendship with Miss Taylor ended. Miss Taylor then began insulting Miss Faraji on a personal and professional level. In early June of 2023, the treatment reached a breaking point as Miss Taylor began openly mocking Miss Faraji's English, exclaiming that she could not understand Miss Faraji's accent and complaining about Miss Faraji's humming, an involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her diagnosed PTSD. Miss Taylor then began stating that she needed a black hairstylist. Miss Faraji and her co-workers, who noticed the harsh interactions, hoped that Fox could see through the facade, as Miss Faraji had been doing Miss Taylor's hair for approximately 7 years at Miss Taylor's own request without any complaint, and had been working on textured hair for decades. She was hired to do the hairstyles for over 10 black background dancers in CeeLo Green's music video. F you. That was the song, the video. So Miss Faraji's June 1st, 2023 diary entry states, she's been acting like, because I'm not black, I'm stupid. She keeps saying black girls' hair should be done like this, not how you do it. I've been doing her hair for 7 years, and she keeps making me feel that my English is not good. She keeps making comments like, oh, white girls are dumb. On June the 14th of 2023, Ms. Faraji reported the incidents to Ms. Peretti. Ms. Faraji's June 14, 2023 diary entry states, by now it has been 7 days that the company knows about this racism and discrimination towards me. I told my boss, Gina, I told Cindy all about it. On June the 16th of 2023, Ms. Peretti pulled Ms. Faraji into her office and asked if she wanted to leave speak. Ms. Faraji explained that she wanted to work. Ms. Peretti told Ms. Faraji that she should just leave the room when Ms. Taylor was acting out. Ms. Faraji noticed that this was a pattern. When Ms. M bullied Ms. Faraji, Human Resources told her to leave the room. And now when Ms. Taylor bullied Ms. Faraji, Ms. Peretti again told her to leave the room. Ms. Faraji's June 16, 2023 diary entry states, I'm very disappointed in how Fox operates. Racism and bullying, instead of getting rid of the bully, they want to get rid of the victim. Wow. Yeah, that's usually how it is. On June the 21st of 2023, Ms. Peretti called Ms. Faraji into her office. Ms. Peretti explained that while Ms. Faraji should still go in every morning and set up her hair, Ms. Taylor no longer needed her as a stylist. Now, Ms. Peretti explained that Ms. Faraji was to work from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then go home. When Ms. Faraji asked about touch-ups, Ms. Peretti she stated that she had spoken to all talent on the show and no one needed touch-ups. Ms. Faraji then asked if she did something wrong. Ms. Peretti responded, you remind me of my dog. And when I take my dog out, he barks at bigger dogs. That's like you. Ms. Faraji left the room and cried. To call someone a dog is one of the most offensive insults in Persian culture. Ms. Peretti then hired 2 black hairstylists to work from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as Ms. Taylor is very picky with her hair. She did not like the work of the 2 new black stylists and asked a co-worker, who is a Latina woman, to do her hair 5 days a week. The co-worker declined. On July the 4th of 2021, on July the 4th, July the 21st and July the 24th of 2023, different talent members asked Ms. Faraji why she was no longer providing touch-ups on Speak. The third time they asked her, Ms. Faraji explained that because talent had indicated they do not need touch-ups, and she was no longer available for touch-ups. The talent members were shocked and said that they needed touch-ups on Speak. As Ms. Faraji did not feel it was professional to mention her conversation with Ms. Peretti, she explained that there must have been some misunderstanding. Ms. Faraji informed employee relations. Ms. Faraji became concerned for her job, as this was a common tactic employed by Fox when retaliating against a witness or target. Fox systematically reduces work schedules and ultimately terminates employment by removing an individual from the schedule entirely, using fabricated business necessities as a pretext. See, this is all the reasons, in my opinion, you guys, this is all the more reasons why she should have been reporting this, not only just to them, because she already went to HR, but she should have been going to the EEOC. Okay, that's what she should have been doing. Okay, that's what she should have been doing, honey. Because now they're getting ready to fire her, and she's going to be out of a job whether whether she likes it or not. And so then it goes on to say Ms. Faraji participates in an internal investigation only to be singled out, taken off speak, and accused of having sex with Mr. Bayless. Now, in mid-July of 2023, Anna Drucker, Fox Sports Vice President of Employee Relations, said Ms. Faraji asked Ms. Faraji for a meeting. After the meeting, Ms. Drucker said, or she asked if Ms. Taylor was having an sexual relationship with Mr. Acho. Ms. Faraji admitted that the two were in an sexual relationship. Ms. Faraji shared this information because she didn't think it was a big deal. Well, she should have known it was a big deal. I don't believe that part, because why would the lady be asking you if it wasn't a big deal? Okay, but she didn't think it was because she didn't think Miss Taylor or Mr. Acho would physically harm her for providing this information. Mr. Acho had always been respectful to Miss Faraji and never threatened or hurt her. But now you got her telling this man's business? I have several questions. On July the 31st of 2023, Kelsey Doe of Employee Relations asked Ms. Faraji for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Doe told Ms. Faraji that there had been complaints of her humming. Ms. Faraji explained that her humming is an involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her diagnosed PTSD, and that everyone at Fox knew that she hummed. Ms. Faraji further explained that she has been humming since she was a child, has been humming her entire tenure at Fox. Her humming was exasperated in stressful situations, and although she hates it and wants it to stop, she does not even realize when she's humming. Now, Ms. Faraji further explained that if anyone was now complaining, they were only doing so to hurt and embarrass her. Ms. Doe thanked Ms. Faraji for the information and abruptly changed the conversation and quickly asked whether she had made public comments regarding Mr. Dixon and Ms. Taylor having sex. Ms. Faraji became very scared as Mr. Dixon had previously assaulted her, and Ms. Taylor had warned her that he would fire her if she said anything, and responded that while everyone in the company knew about their relationship, she did not have any information and did not want to comment about it. Ms. Doe then tried to end the conversation and asked if Ms. Faraji had any questions. Ms. Faraji then began crying, asking why such a swift investigation took place regarding her humming, but no one cared about Ms. M threatening to kill her or others mocking her English. Ms. Faraji then explained that all she wants is a safe, normal work environment, but everyone mistreats her because there are no consequences for them. While she focused on others mocking her English, she was thinking of her interactions with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Bayless. On August the 3rd of 2023, Ms. Peretti told approximately 8 of Ms. Faraji's co-workers to not associate with Ms. Faraji as she had a pending case with Human Resources. Ms. Faraji was confused as from her perspective, she did not have a pending case with Human Resources. Employee Relations had only called her in to answer questions regarding Ms. Taylor. On August the 9th of 2023, Ms. Peretti told Ms. Faraji that her services were officially no longer needed on Speak. Ms. Faraji's diary entry for that day states that they are only taking me off the show because I reported Joy. After I reported that they took me off the show. This must be illegal. Okay, so let's pause right here so I can have a brief word from my sponsors. Beloveds, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Now, on August the 21st of 2023, Kim Bovis Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Human Resources and Business Operations, and Ms. Drucker asked Mr. Bayless for a meeting. When Mr. Bayless arrived, Ms. Bovis and Ms. Drucker told Mr. Bayless not to worry and that his job was safe. The two then started interrogating him on whether he had a romantic relationship with Ms. Faraji and whether she had offered him sex. Now, when Mr. Bayless responded truthfully that she had never offered him sex, they told him not to worry. They again told him not to worry and that his job was safe, heavily implying that they wanted him to say otherwise. This circular conversation took place for approximately 20 minutes. Following the meeting, Mr. Dixon called Mr. Bayless and asked why he didn't just lie. Mr. Bayless responded that he cares about Ms. Faraji. Mr. Dixon responded, "Who cares? I can get you a better looking hairstylist." This is all crazy, okay? So the investigation is indicative of the role of human resources and employee relations as a protector of abusers and wrongdoers. Inexplicably, Fox has allowed human resources and employee relations to be personally intermingled with other departments and high-level decision makers to their own benefit. For example, Afiz Tijani was promoted from human resources to producer after he turned a blind eye to various allegations. Shortly after his promotion, Ms. Faraji noticed that he was at Fox early in the morning. Ms. Faraji asked him why he was in so early, and he responded that he was now producing the show because our great boss, Charlie Dixon, who has the power to do it, has made me the producer. Ms. Faraji asked, "That's all you need? A powerful man? You don't need experience?" Mr. Tijani pompously responded, "Yes, that's correct, Nashin." Now, Ms. Faraji learns that Mr. Dixon wants her fired. In late August of 2023, Mr. Bayless learned that Mr. Sharpe and Ms. Faraji had never been romantically involved. Now, subsequently, Mr. Bayless pulled Ms. Faraji aside for a conversation. During this conversation, Mr. Bayless apologized for accusing her of having relations with Mr. Sharpe, disclosed details regarding his August 21st, 2023 meeting with Human Resources, and further disclosed that Mr. Dixon wants Ms. Faraji fired because she knew too much and was talking. Now, Mr. Bayless also disclosed that he believed Mr. Dixon kept his wife on Fox's payroll to keep her silent about his affairs with Fox's employees. Mr. Bayless asked Ms. Faraji out to dinner to continue the conversation, but Ms. Faraji declined, stating that she cannot do anything that even gives an inference of non-work relationship because she wants to keep her job. Now, on October the 18th of 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji that Mr. Dixon was continuing to push him for a different hairstylist, but Mr. Bayless refused. Ms. Faraji's diary entry for that day states, "I feel desperate. I don't know how to save my job. Charlie is the big boss and I'm just a hairstylist with no power. Skip said that Joy is telling Charlie to get rid of me. That's crazy." On October the 20th of 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji that Mr. Dixon had threatened his job because he continuously requested Ms. Faraji, stating that he would rather have another pretty girl on Undisputed over Mr. Bayless anyway. On October the 21st of 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji that he still loved her and confided that Mr. Dixon was the one who told him that Ms. Faraji was sleeping with Mr. Sharpe. Mr. Bayless then again tried to have relations with Ms. Faraji. Ms. Faraji's diary entry for the day states, "I said, Skip, I'm only interested in working with you and having a friendship relationship with you and nothing else. He said, you have no idea. You are losing everything. I don't know what he means. I don't know what he means, but I don't know what he means by that. And I hope he doesn't take me off the show. It makes me sick to my stomach, and it's really hard for me to work like this. I hope God helps me because Fox is supporting people like Charlie and Skip." Ms. Faraji lets it be known that she will support a coworker. On December the 17th of 2023, one of Ms. Faraji's coworkers was indefinitely taken off schedule after she took offense to bullying and racist comments made by a Fox NFL host. Over the next few months, Ms. Faraji made it known amongst the department that if needed, she would speak out on her coworker's behalf. Ms. Peretti responded, saying, if it's so hard for you here, why don't you quit?" See, that's what I'm saying. Why didn't she just quit? I mean, okay, she needs the job. Everybody needs their job, but she could have easily tried to go and look and apply for another one. "I don't regret anything I did to did to coworker or a different coworker. This was especially cruel as she knew one of the coworkers had tried to commit suicide with an S. Ms. Faraji reached out to Ms. Drucker and asked if she should get an attorney. Ms. Drucker responded that she does not need an attorney. Ms. Faraji is fired. Now, on approximately June the 24th of 2024, a talent member disclosed to Ms. Faraji that Undisputed was going to be canceled and that Mr. Bayless was going to be fired. Ms. Faraji grew intentionally anxious that Mr. Dixon was trying to get her fired. Later that week on Monday, Ms. Faraji gave Mr. Bayless a haircut. During the haircut, Mr. Bayless told her about a new opportunity that he was expecting outside of Fox. Ms. Faraji asked if he would still be coming back to Undisputed, and he replied, of course. Mr. Bayless then told Ms. Faraji that he fantasizes about having relations with her and asked how much money it would take for her to have relations with him. Ms. Faraji stated that she had already refused $1.5 million and that her answer wasn't going to change. Mr. Bayless replied, the more you say no, the more I want you. This is all nefarious. On August the 2nd of 2024, Undisputed was canceled. Mr. Bayless was fired and Ms. Faraji was taken off schedule. Ms. Peretti told Ms. Faraji that there was no longer a need for her. That same day, Mr. Bayless asked Ms. Faraji to walk him to his car on his way out. Ms. Faraji felt that she had no choice but to walk him to his car. Now, this is all cap right here. When she said she felt like she had no choice but to walk him to his car, why did she feel that way? He was already fired. And previously, when he asked her to come sit in the car, she told him no then. So why did she feel pressure this day to walk him to the car? I'm just wondering. Excuse me, I'm just wondering. Okay, so goes on to say, once at his car, they noticed Mr. Dixon in the parking lot looking at them. Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraji, F Charlie. If you want to sue them, go for it. F them. Charlie is not going to sleep tonight. He's scared of what I'm going to tell you. F him. That's interesting because she sued Skip Bayless too. Now, that same day, Ms. Faraji reached out to Fox, asked why she was taken off schedule, and explained that although Undisputed had been canceled, she had worked on The Herd for over 5 years, Speak for over 1 year, and talent continued to request her. Fox did not provide a substantive response, but said they would investigate the issue. On August the 5th of 2024, Ms. Faraji was asked to give Mr. Silverman a haircut in the same manner she had been doing so for over the past 7 years. Ms. Faraji then reached out to Fox to ask what she should do, as she did not want to let Mr. Silverman down. The next day, Fox again did not provide a substantive response, but said they were continuing to investigate the issue. On August the 8th of 2024, after finishing their investigation, Fox was finally able to muster the following pretextual reason for firing Ms. Faraji. They can only afford to have one hairdresser work on all 3 shows: a new morning show, Speak, and Undisputed. Okay, a new morning show as well as Speak and Undisputed. Now, Ms. Faraji's fears actualized as she realized that she had become the target. Fox systematically reduced her work schedule and ultimately terminated her employment by removing her from the schedule entirely, using fabricated business necessities as a pretext. And this is exactly why she should have been looking for another job. This is exactly why she should have been seeking other opportunities. Anytime you're in this type of situation, it's not going to turn out well for you. Even if you stay there, you're going to continually be harassed if these allegations are true. But worrying about losing your job should not be the primary focus of your concern. You should be more concerned about finding another job so you don't have to stay there and endure things that make you feel uncomfortable. And also knowing that they can still fire you at any given moment. Now, guided by its attorneys, Fox then implemented the revised schedule, assigning a single hairdresser to cover all 3 shows for approximately 3 months. Once Fox believed it had sufficiently justified its actions from a legal standpoint, they reverted to their long-standing scheduling arrangement, which included 1 hair and 1 makeup professional in the morning and another set in the afternoon, the same arrangement that had been in place for years during Ms. Faraji's tenure. In addition, Fox employed a barber to work exclusively on the morning show. Ms. Faraji's life after working with defendants. For weeks after being terminated, Ms. Faraji remained conflicted as to her next steps. She remained quiet about her experiences at Fox, and as she was fearful, believing that Mr. Dixon might hire someone to kill her should she go public. Now, why would she think this man's going to do all of that? Why would she think he's going to do all of that? Did she have any indication that he was violent otherwise? Were there rumors that he was not having people knocked off for daring to go against him? I'm just wondering, where did this whole ideology come from? After many therapy sessions, Ms. Faraji has concluded that she never wants to work with Mr. Bayless again, feels ashamed for working with him for so many years, and is able to better control intrusive thoughts of Mr. Dixon hurting her again. In response to her feelings of shame, embarrassment, and fear, her therapist told her that she had only been doing what she thought she needed to do to survive. At this point, Ms. Faraji seeks justice. She knows that Mr. Dixon used his position of power to coerce women into having relations with him and use it as a justification to grope Ms. Faraji. She knows that Mr. Dixon did not immediately fire her after Ms. Taylor and Ms. Faraji had a falling out, only to appease Mr. Bayless by providing him with a plaything. Despite Ms. Faraji being an excellent hairdresser and continuously being requested by talent, she was shrunken down to how much she could appease Mr. Bayless. And once Mr. Bayless was gone, so was her job. To date, talent continues to ask for Ms. Faraji at Fox, including Mr. Cowherd, who posted a poll on his Twitter page at the Herd on December 18th of 2024, asking if he should get a haircut, with 23.2% responding that he should. Ms. Faraji also continues to be requested by and workers for high-profile clients who do not abuse her. Following Ms. Faraji's departure from Fox, Mr. Bayless began featuring his wife on his podcast. On information and belief, he changed the cell phone number he had maintained for many years, presumably in the hopes of removing and deleting incriminating messages, presumably after receiving notice of his impending lawsuit from Fox. My thing is, she ended up losing her job anyway. Now, one has to wonder, why would both her and Skip be called into the office and ask these different questions? I'm wondering if they actually did have something going on and then things went left. I don't know. Because for him to have, as she claims, he was all in love with her, really cared about her and all of this, and was clearly defending her. I'm just wondering, why was he feeling so emotional about her? Did they actually have anything going on? I just have several questions. Now, Ms. Faraji has exhausted her administrative remedies pursuant to the California Fair Employment and Housing Act, known as the FEHA, for those causes of action in this complaint for which exhaustion is required. She filed a timely administrative complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing regarding the issues raised by the FEHA causes of action in this complaint, and received a right to sue letter from the DFEH on January the 3rd of 2025. Plaintiff brings forth this class action on behalf of herself and all others similarly situated pursuant to California Code of Civil Procedure, Section 382. Plaintiff seeks to represent a class defined as follows: all non-exempt hourly individuals who work for Fox in California during the period commencing 4 years prior to the filing of this complaint. A plaintiff further seeks to represent the following subclasses composed and defined as follows: A, subclass 1, minimum wages subclass, all class members who were not compensated for all work hours or hours worked at the applicable minimum wage. Subclass 2, overtime wages subclass, all class members who were not compensated for overtime and double time hours worked at the required regular rates of pay. C, subclass 3, reimbursement subclass, all class members who were not reimbursed for necessary business expenses. And D, subclass 4, final wages subclass, all class members who within the applicable limitations period did not timely receive wages that were due and owed upon separation. E, subclass 5, wage statement subclass, all class members who, within the applicable limitations period, were not provided with accurate itemized wage statements. Subclass 6, UCL subclass, all class members who are owed restitution as a result of Fox's unlawful, deceptive, and or unfair business acts and or practices. Plaintiff reserves her right under California Rules of Court 3.765 to later amend, modify, limit to particular issues, or divide the class and or subclass descriptions. Numerosity. Plaintiff is informed and believes that the members of the class and subclasses are so numerous that joinder of all members is impractical. While the precise number of members of the class and subclasses has not been determined at this time. Plaintiff is informed and believes that there are more than 100 class members and more than 100 subclass members for each subclass. The number of members of the class and subclasses will be readily identifiable and locatable through Fox's own employment records. Okay, I'm gonna skip through all of this. This is all a whole mess. Ms. Faraji, this is the first cause of action. Ms. Faraji realleges and incorporates on behalf of herself and class members each and every paragraph of this complaint as though fully set forth herein. Ms. Faraji and class members should have been paid minimum wage for every hour that they were subject to the control of their employer. The minimum wage for employees fixed by the compensation or by any applicable state or local law is the minimum wage to be paid to employees, and the payment of a lower wage than the minimum so fixed is unlawful. Okay. I think I'm going to stop right here because this is like 40-something pages, and we're on page 26. So, this is all real interesting, but what do you guys think about this? What do you all think about this? Do you all believe that Skip was harassing this woman? What say you? Because I think, there was definitely something going on. Now, whether he was harassing her or not, I don't know. If he does not work there anymore, who's paying? Well, she's suing all of Fox's entities. She's suing all of their Fox Sports, all of the Fox Sports affiliates. Queen Sam said, I think these men need to stop thinking with their little heads. Oh, honey, they're not going to ever stop doing that, honey. Please pay attention. That's what they're not going to do, sadly. Giggle says, not to the degree that she implied. Okay? I just have questions. I'm not saying that she's lying, but I just wonder if the story goes exactly as she's telling it. Because for her to sit there and say that this man was making her feel uncomfortable, saying things inappropriate, and all of this, then to go looking for him when he doesn't want to come and see you, when he doesn't want to be around you to get his hair done because he's upset about whatever. So you go looking for him to check on him to see if he's okay. If you're harassing me at my job and I've already let you know that I don't want you like that, why am I concerned about you? Why do I care that you're not coming? Okay. And why is he the one saying that he didn't feel comfortable coming up there? That's what he said, according to the filings. Queen Sam said, and thinking that everybody wants to sleep with them. Okay. Yeah, some of these men do think that everybody wants to sleep with them. And then not even necessarily that everybody wants to, that these women need to keep their jobs. And clearly that's what she felt. Queen, did you get an email? You sent me an email? Let me see what's going on here. Hold on. I don't have any email, beloved. Not that I can see. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see anything, beloved. Did you send me something? Am I supposed to have another email? Am I supposed to have an email that came through? Let me check my other email. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see anything. I got nothing. Okay, so anyway, the root of all evil. Yeah, I don't see it. Did you type the root of all evil 227? The root of all evil 227? I don't see anything. The last email I got there was 6:45. TC Dan says, did you see Biden gave Denzel the Medal of Freedom? Yes, I did. Yes, I absolutely did. And we're going to talk about that later. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. Now, with that I've been said, thank you, Dan, for your insight and also for your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, Miss J said this is a whole mess, and she should have left a long time ago. Because if she's good at what she does, her reputation will precede her unless she's blackballed. Exactly. And the way to, in my opinion, the way to have avoided all of that, being blackballed or having her job held over her head, would have to just been putting in applications at other places. Because here's the thing. When something like this is going on, as I told you guys, you want to get ahead of it. Okay, you want to get ahead of the story. So what you do is you go and start applying to other places and listing this job as a reference. Because now that's going to look good. Okay, she's already at Fox Sports, right? And then so you go, and once you get hired somewhere else, then you just tell Fox Sports, you give them a 2-week notice. Put them on notice. You know, I found a better opportunity and I'm going to be leaving. That's what she should have done. That's what she should have done, honey. This is all crazy. Fat Boo said, can I tell you what it was? Yeah, you can tell me what it is. You can tell me what it is. Adrian said, can someone post the Queen's email address? It is Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Let me put it in the chat. What are y'all trying to email me, honey? It must be something nefarious. Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur at gmail.com. There it is right there. What is it that y'all, it's really juicy. Okay, Fat Boo, give it to me. Give it to me, Fat Boo. I want the scoop. You said it's really juicy. Well, tell me what it is. Start spilling the tea. Byron Cook said, Skip trying to dip his clip. What is the tea, Fat Boo? Give up the ingredients, honey. Come on, because I'm about to end this live. So go ahead and give it to me so I can go ahead and talk about whatever it is. It better be juicy. Aqua Girl Rising said, at Fat Boo, I saw that. What did y'all see? What is going on here? Why is everybody laughing? I'm serious. Okay, Dorada said, not the ingredients, Queen. Yes, give up the ingredients, honey. Queen, the drool is glistening from your lips. Pretty Wing said, Fat Boo got the scoop. Okay, well, give me the scoop, damn it. What is a hold up? Hold on. King World busted Allie Carter. I don't know what's going on either. Hold on, I'm reading 2 different comments. King World busted Allie Carter with her mom last night. Oh, I do have that. I do have that. Somebody sent me that early this morning. Hold on. Somebody definitely sent me that early this morning. Yep. Allie Carter, mother interviewed during the Allie Carter Alley-a-thon live stream. I think this is it right here. Yeah, that's it. Somebody sent me that. See, this is how I know y'all are messy as hell. This is how I know all of you guys are messy as hell. Somebody sent me that. Okay, but I chose not to get into it, but y'all just messy. She called Allie all the way out. Really? See, I didn't get to watch it. By the time I saw it, it was time for me to get ready to start working. Y'all are messy as hell. Don't let nobody tell y'all anything different, okay? D Hood really said, no, don't end the live. Stay on all day. Stay on all day, honey. I absolutely will not. I absolutely will not, okay? Poetical Wind said, give the queen what she wants, damn it. Nancy X said, we are so nefarious. Yes. Okay. Pretty Wee said, get into it, queen. Adrian said, you have to watch it, queen. It's a sad story. Okay, so listen, I am going to watch it because I got some juicy news too. I have some juicy news too, but I need to get permission to tell it because I do have a scoop. Okay, please pay attention. I have some information. Silent Sister said, I want to see for research. Sheila says, what? Allie got caught in a lie. I didn't see that. You just said we are low down, dirty scoundrels. Okay, so listen, I was planning on coming back today anyway. I was going to come back and do a spiritual broadcast and give some more predictions for 2025. So I guess I'll come back and talk about that. HCY says, please, can I get the alley link? I seen the link, honey. Y'all are just messy as hell. I don't know what kind of subscribers I got. I am so ashamed of all of you guys. I am so ashamed, honey. Let me put this in here. There's a link right there with y'all nefarious selves. So anyway, listen. Fat Boo said straight up busted her mom. Has court receipts. Oh, honey, I definitely have to watch this and come back and do a review on it, okay? Y'all are something else. I have not said our spirits are good. Give us the tea. Not that our spirits are good. Give us the tea. So y'all don't want the spiritual vitamins. Okay, see, I have lifelines for y'all. But okay, if y'all say so. If y'all say so. Giggle said predictions. I can't wait. Okay, so with that all being said, Byron said, yes, sir, some pretty lips. Y'all are something else. Okay, so listen, I'm about to conclude this broadcast. Listen, I want to thank you all. I just put it in the chat, Nessa G. Nessa G said, put it in the chat, honey. Y'all are terrible. TC Dad said, don't listen to the heathens, queen. Okay, I need my... Okay, TC Dad said, hold on. Don't listen to the heathens. I need my spiritual vitamins. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'll come back and talk about it, but I'll also do the spiritual broadcast at the same time. I'll just mix it all together, okay? I'll just do the spirituality of it all because I have some good and bad news for 2025. Okay, I have some good and bad news for 2025 at the end of the day. So I'll just come back and talk about that later, probably about 6 or 7. Okay. So with that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Don't forget to like and share. You know, it's the best way to support the stream absolutely for free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Okay, do that. Do that, beloveds. And also double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the Queen's channel, especially if you haven't been receiving your notifications. Okay, Juju said not in 10 hours. Not a 10 hours interview. The interview was 10 hours? No, hold on. Let me just check real quick. That interview was not 10 hours, was it? Oh, child. This interview is 10 hours. Now, y'all know darn well I'm not going to watch all of this. Y'all know I'm not about to watch all of this. I will watch. If the Queen not making a 10-hour video, I'm not watching. I know that's right. Thank you, beloved Juju. Here's the thing. I will skim through it and get some of the talking points or whatever. Okay, that's what I do. I skim through it and see what they're talking about. But I had it 10 hours. Honey, I absolutely cannot. I can't ever watch a live that lasts that long, nor can I ever do one. I mean, like, do you not have a life outside of here? Do you not have a whole entire life? Eric said, it shows 10 hours after you sent the link, Queen. Okay, that's a whole lot. No. We're not talking about, beloved, how long ago it was done. It literally says that it's a 10-hour video. It shows that it's a 10-hour video. That's what I'm talking about. Not that it was done 10 hours ago, but that it is, in fact, let me just double check. Yeah, it shows this video is 10 hours and 4 minutes and 22 darn seconds. Nope. This is all crazy. Yeah. This can't be right. Why would somebody do a video this long? I have several questions. Her mom ran down the whole story. Hold on. Who can sit up and watch something for 10 hours? Says Hot Cocoa. Exactly, honey. Giggle said, it's a snowstorm outside. I got time. Ooh, this is crazy. Okay, anyway, honey, I'm gonna see what I can find out. Cookie said, let's do the spiritual. Yeah. I might discuss a little bit of it. Like I said, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll talk about some of it. Okay, so listen, you guys, I'm out of here. I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, above all else, always keep the Most High first in your lives. And listen, we're coming back. Like I said, HCY Project says, you think she's lying? I don't know. Listen, I have not researched or sat down and looked at Allie Carter's story to say whether or not she's lying. But what I do believe she's lying about is being Tupac's daughter. Okay. I'm sorry. Just don't believe that. But, and like I said, I knew Tupac in real life. Okay. I don't believe that part. Now, which makes everything that she said after that questionable, in my opinion. Okay. So I'm not going to say she's lying or not because I don't know. Okay. Queen, I sent another super chat. Breaking news. Uh-oh. Damn, y'all won't let me get out of here. Dan, talk about some breaking damn news. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is resigning. Damn, Dan. Y'all just doing the most right about now. Y'all will not let me up out of here. Dan, thank you for your contribution to the channel. Hold on, honey. This is all crazy. Let me see why he's resigning. This came out 11 minutes ago. It is breaking news. Let's get into it. Embattled Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau resigns. It's probably a scandal. Okay, so it goes on to say that he announced on Monday he is resigning after nearly a decade in office, mounting calls for him to step down. This is following mounting calls for him to step down. The 53-year-old said that he plans to stay on his post until his ruling lefty Liberal Party chooses a replacement. He says, I am a fighter and I am not someone who backs away from a fight, particularly when a fight is as important as this. This is what Trudeau said at a news conference. Let me see if I can find a news press conference, honey. Hold on. I'd rather hear this straight from the horse's mouth. Hold on, beloveds. I think this is it right here. Let me see. Yep. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Let's find out what's really going on. Dan, you are so nefarious. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. Okay, peace, love, and blessings. Queen just cannot get out of here. And then y'all want me to come back? Hold on, let me see how long it's going to take for this to start. Can I fast forward? I don't want to be on here all day. Let me see if I can find somewhere where it's already been playing. Okay, here we go.
Please.
It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. Mes chers Canadiens, à chaque matin, je me suis réveillé en tant que Premier ministre, inspiré par la résilience, la générosité et la détermination qui nous caractérisent si bien en tant que Canadiens. C'est ce qui me motive à chaque jour où j'ai le privilège de servir dans ce poste. C'est pourquoi, depuis 2015, je me suis battu pour ce pays, pour vous, pour renforcer la classe moyenne. Pourquoi nous nous sommes mobilisés en tant que Canadiens pour se soutenir les uns les autres pendant la pandémie, pour faire progresser la réconciliation, pour défendre le libre-échange sur notre continent, pour notre soutien inébranlable de l'Ukraine et de la démocratie, et pour lutter contre les changements climatiques et préparer l'économie de l'avenir. Nous traversons vraiment un moment critique dans le monde. My friends, as you all know, I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians. I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history.
Listen, he advised, I'm gonna tell y'all what he said. So this morning, first of all, he said they got him effed all the way up, and they got all this BS going on with Ukraine and all of this stuff, and there's no progress being ensued. And so he's just quite frankly tired of it. Now he said this morning, he basically informed them that they needed new progress in government. Okay, that's what he said. Okay, he was speaking French. But that's what he basically said, that they got him effed up. It's no progress, going on, and it's just a waste of his time as far as he's concerned. And he already told them this morning that they need to get it together, that it was no progress or whatever. OMG, why is he resigning? He's fed up, and the party has been calling on him to resign. Okay, so now he decided to go ahead and just give them what they want. Okay, he decided to give them what they want. So I just find it all interesting because this is out of the blue to me. CC Dad, had you heard anything else about this? He just said that he was going to step down, but before he does, he's going to wait and wait for them to hire somebody else. And he said that I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects a new leader. So. That's what he said. The Liberal Party National Executive, which controls leadership issues, is scheduled to meet this week, likely after the caucus. Trudeau's government was rocked by the surprise resignation of Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, just hours before she was due to deliver an annual fiscal update. Honey, this all reeks of something sketchy going on. Did somebody inappropriate some funds or something? This is before she gave a fiscal update. I'm just wondering. Truth Over Everything said he destroyed Canada like Biden and Kagame destroyed the United States. Yeah, that's why they're calling for him to step on down. Okay. Cookie said it's something deeper than that. Yeah, it's something deeper than that. It's definitely some kind of scandal going on, in my opinion. And I'm getting misappropriation of funds too with this Chrystia stepping down. Because this is right before she was scheduled to give the annual fiscal report. I have several questions, lady. What have you done? Freeland said Canada could ill afford these policies seen as a pre-election handout to claw back some voters, and coming as the county or as the country faces the serious prospect of huge tariffs, which would be levied by the incoming Trump administration. It does have something to do with Trump's tariffs. And I want you guys to pay attention because you heard it here first. Didn't I, in fact, tell you guys weeks ago, if not over a month ago, okay, right after the election, I did a whole PowerPoint presentation breaking down and explaining to you in with thorough receipts as to how Trump's tariffs is going to be problematic for us as well as these other countries that he's inflicting them upon. Didn't I tell you guys this? And I just want you to know, beloveds, that the information that I have for you later with the spiritual information and all of that, also I'm going to be speaking about the tariffs, okay? So with that all being said, honey, let me tell y'all something. Y'all sitting up here being all messy, and y'all want to know about Allie Carter being exposed and her mother getting caught in lies and whatnot. But y'all don't realize doom and gloom is right around the corner. Y'all need to begin prepared. And I'm going to tell you all about this when I come back at around 6 p.m. The writer said, yes, you did tell us, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I sure did. Y'all going to start listening. Okay. And this is why I got to get out of this algorithm with celebrity gossip, because now all y'all asses want to hear is celebrity gossip. Okay. Y'all are not any longer worried about how we're going to fend for ourselves in the coming days, months. Y'all don't want to know what's going on with Trump during this inauguration. I got some predictions for you guys. So I will be back. And like I said, I'll look over this Allie Carter video and I'll come back and give you guys my thoughts on it, a brief synopsis. But then after that, we got to talk about the serious things. TC Dan said, Queen's not joking. This is very serious. It absolutely is. Okay. It is absolutely very serious. I'm not joking. Okay. I was up early this morning after having all these dreams of all this stuff that's going down. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. Okay. I want y'all to pay attention. All right. So I'm going to tell you all these things. Just remember, you heard it here first. All right. Y'all know I'm a whole oracle. I haven't lied to you guys yet. And here's the thing. Some people find out things, have prophecies of things, like months, weeks in advance or whatever. Some of the stuff that I told you guys back in 2020, this is the time for it to all start transpiring right here. I know y'all was probably wondering, what the hell's taking so long? Is Queen right? Does she know what she's talking about? Why is she giving us these lifelines all these years and nothing's happening? Well, now's the time. Okay, y'all better pay attention, honey. Now is the time. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Like I said, I'll be back at 6 o'clock. All right. I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. And listen, make sure that you have your notifications on. And for those of you who have trouble finding the links or whatever, I always post them in my YouTube community tab and on my accounts on X. Okay, so I hope to see you all at 6 p.m. With that all been said, Cookie said, Queen, look into the guy that bombed Trump's tower. Oh, honey, I have all the information on all of these things. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention. And at the end of the day, well, I'm not even going to get into it, but I'm going to be telling you all about all of that, okay? I'm going to be giving you all the information and insight onto all of that. So please stay tuned. Now, with that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got